birthday.
Is she here?
In the bathroom.
Has she been in there all day?
I reckon so.
Soaking in a hot tub.
All afternoon.
100 degrees on the nose and she soaks herself in a hot tub.
She says it cools herself off for the evening.
And you run out and get her Cokes, I suppose? And serve them to her majesty in the hot tub?
Stanley, I've got things to do.
Sit down. I've got the dope on your big sister Stella.
Stanley, stop picking on Blanche.
That girl calls me common.
Lately you've been doing all you can think of to rub her the wrong way, Stanley, and Blanche is sensitive, and you've got to realize that Blanche and I grew up under very different circumstances than you did.
So I've been told and told and told and told. You know she's been feeding us a pack of lies here.
No, I don't, and...
Well, she has, however, but now the cat's out of the bag. I found out some things.
What things?
Things I've already suspected, but now I got proof from the most reliable source, which I have checked on.
Say it's only a paper moon.
Lower your voice.
Some canary bird, huh?
Now please tell me quietly what you think you found out about my sister.
Line number 1, all the squeamishness she puts on. You should just know the line that she's been feeding Mitch. He thought she's never been more kissed than by a fellow, but Sister Blanche is no lily. Ha! Some lily she is.
What have you heard, and who from?
Our supply man down at the plant has been going through Laurel for years, and he knows all about her, and everyone else in the town of Laurel knows about her. She is famous in Laurel as she were the President of the United States, only she's not respected by any party. This supply man stops at the hotel called the Flamingo.
Say it's only a cardboard moon, sailing over a cardboard sea, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
What about the Flamingo?
She stayed there too.
My sister lived at Belle Reeve.
This is after the home place had slipped through her lily-white fingers. She moved on to the Flamingo, a second-class hotel which has the advantage of not interfering in the private social life of the personalities there. The Flamingo is used to all kinds of going-ons, but even the management of the Flamingo was impressed by Dame Blanche. In fact, they were so impressed by Dame Blanche that they requested her to return in her room key for permanently. This happened a couple weeks ago before she showed here.
It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as funny as it can be, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
What contemptible lies.
Sure, I can see how you'd be upset by this. She pulled the wool over your eyes just as much as Mitch's.
It's pure invention. There's not a word of truth in it. And if I were a man and this creature had dared to invent such a thing in my presence...
Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played in a penny arcade.
Honey, I told you, I thoroughly checked out these stories. Now wait till I finish. The trouble with Dame Blanche was that she couldn't put on her act anymore in Laurel. They got tired with her after 2 or 3 dates, and then they quit. And she goes on to another, the same old line, the same old act, same old hooey. But the town was too small for this to go on forever, and is not just different from downright local nuts. And for the last year or two, she has been washed up like poison. That's why she's here this summer, visiting royalty, putting in all the acts because she practically told them by the mayor to get out of town. Yes, did you know that there's an army camp in New Laurel and your sister was one of these places called Out of Bounds?
It's only a paper moon, just as phony as it can be, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
Well, so much for being here, such a refined and particular type of girl. Which brings us to line number 2.
I don't want to hear it anymore.
She's not going back to teach school. In fact, I'm willing to bet that she never had no idea of returning to Laurel. She didn't resign temporarily from the high school because of her nerves. No, sirree, Bob, she didn't. They kicked her out of the high school before the spring term ended. And I hate to tell you the reason the step was taken. A 17-year-old boy she got mixed up with.
It's Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be.
Oh my God, this makes me sick.
The boy's dad learned about it and got in touch with the high school superintendent. Boy, oh boy, I'd like to have been in that office when Dame Blanche was caught on that carpet. I'd like to have seen her try to squirm out of that one. But they had her on the hook good and proper that time, and she knew that the jig was all up. They told her she better move on to some fresh territory. Yep, it was practically a town ordinance pressed against her.
Stella?
Yes, Blanche?
Give me another bath towel to dry my hair with. I just washed it.
Yes, Blanche. Yes, Blanche.